Hello and welcome to today's Herald and Times Sportscast live from the banks of Loch Lomond, where some of the world's best golfers are preparing for the Barclays Scottish Open. I'm Matthew Lindsay from the Evening Times, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague Douglas Lowe, the golf writer for the Herald, to talk about this week and also look ahead to the Open at Turnberry next week. Douglas, a fantastic field again here this year, some of the world's best players. Who are you looking forward to seeing, and who do you fancy to be challenging for the title on Sunday?
Well, there is a very good field. There's a lot of the world's top players here, and the two top ranked players are Jeff Ogilvy, former US Open champion, currently the Accenture World Match Play champion, and Camilo Villegas.
Well pronounced.
Yes, the Colombian. He's quite a charismatic figure, plays on the PGA Tour, and usually commands a very sizable female gallery.
Yes, okay.
But there are two English players that could do rather well here. That's Ross Fisher, who did well in the US Open, and Ian Poulter, who's coming into form. And there's the German Martin Keimer that won last week in France, so I quite fancy him to do well this week.
Yeah, but any player in the field here really can challenge, as we've seen in the past with Gregory Havry winning, Thomas Levy, Tim Clark. You know, there's such good quality here, and you know, somebody could come out the back and surprise us.
Well, yes, the European Tour has got great strength and depth, and out of the pack you rather hope that perhaps a Scot will emerge. It's perhaps asking for a little too much, because the Scots are a bit in the doldrums, but somebody like David Drysdale, who's been doing well this week, might just show up.
You rightly mentioned that the Scots haven't been enjoying the best of times recently, and it's 10 years since we had a Scottish winner of the Scottish Open. Colin Montgomery triumphed in 1999.
Scotland are top of the world in the amateur game. They're world champions, and last week they won the European Championship, but getting them from that level through to professional level is a big problem.
I think it's just a cyclical thing. I think that there's nothing to worry about. I think we've got some good talent coming through. You see our Eisenhower Trophy team winning, and a couple are doing okay out on tour here. There's a number of Scots that are getting into position now over the first couple of days, and just not finishing it off, but that comes with experience, and I think you won't be asking me that question in 3 or 4 years' time. I think it'll be a big difference for Scottish golf in the next 3 or 4 years. You just got to remember that there's only, 4.5 million of us, and considering that amount, we do very well.
Dougie, you played the course here in the media day a few weeks ago. I was babysitting that day and had to miss it. I'm not bitter about that one at all. But how's the course looking, and is there any changes this year that the players should be looking out for?
Well, yeah, I think I'll draw a veil over my own performance on the course here. I'm not telling you anything about that, but the course is probably the best it's ever been. The players are raving about it, particularly the greens. There's not many changes, but two of the changes are at the 12th and the 13th, where there's some very deep swales, runoffs being constructed, and if players get into those, they'll have to show some very expert short game skills to get out of it.
Right, Dougie, we're sitting in the grandstand behind the 18th green here at beautiful Loch Lomond, and there's not a soul to be seen, but it certainly won't be like that for the next 4 days. There are bumper crowds expected to flock here once again. I mean, the Scottish Open is a massive golf tournament on the European Tour, but you can't forget that it's the week ahead of the Open at Turnberry, and a lot of players are going to have half an eye on that this week, aren't they?
Oh, very much so, especially the ones that have travelled from America. Players like Boo Weekley and Brian Gay. We're missing Phil Mickelson this week, of course. His wife Amy's undergone surgery for breast cancer, so people will be thinking of him. But yes, the Open does cast a huge shadow over this event, which is a big event in its own rights, but it's parkland, which keeps some players away, like Podring Harrington, who's going for 3 in a row at the Open. He'll be playing in the Irish PGA this week. He likes to play a links course before the Open, which this one isn't. But the American players like to come over here a week early to acclimatise, sharpen up their competitive instincts, and this is a big tournament, and this does that kind of job, and they love the course. It is a wonderful course. Some people say it's the best they play on the European Tour.
I mean, a good showing in the Scottish Open will, boost the confidence of a player going into the Open. A good high finish will, get players fancying their chances for a crack at the claret, Judd. Would you go along with that? That there'll be everybody here will be doing their damnedest to win. There'll be, no thoughts of just warming up for next week.
Oh no! Once come Sunday, they'll be trying to win this tournament. There's also the carrot of there is one place from here into the Open that's the top, the top player within the top 5, non-exempt for the Open, will go straight into Turnberry. So there will be competition for that place as well.
Turnberry is another course that you've played in your hectic life at the coalface of the golf circuit. What do you think of the changes that have been made there? I mean, I believe they've lengthened it considerably by adding new tees, and they've changed the layout a little bit. What do you think the world's top golfers are going to think of that next week? Yeah,
there's a lot of new bunkers been put in at the 280 to 300 yard mark to bring the course up to modern hitting standards. There's also been 2 big constructional changes. The 10th has a tee taken out towards the sea, and it's one that will rival the 9th for scenic beauty, and it's a 200 yard carry to the fairway. That's a tough one, but the finish has also been toughened up. The 16th, the one with a shot over the burn to the green, has been made a dog leg, and the 17th, which Nick Price eagled to win in 1994, it's been lengthened and bunkers put in, so that it won't be quite so easy to finish birdie, eagle, par like he did 15 years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will though. I mean, Tiger Woods missed last year. He was recovering from knee surgery, and he's come back this year, and it looks as though he hasn't been away. I mean, he has to start as the favourite.
Well, yes, he does. He will be the bookies' favourite, and he will be everybody's favourite. He's won 3 times since he came back from knee surgery, but he hasn't done the business in the 2 majors. He's played in the Masters and the US Open. He's finished 6th in both, and he's yet to.
Nightmare. He must be devastated.
So he's still to show he can do the business in the majors with his new physique. We all know that he can do it mentally. Now he has to show he can do it with his new knee.
Yeah. Well, you can keep up to date with all the action at both the Scottish Open and the Open by reading the Herald, Evening Times and Sunday Herald, and also online at www.theherald.co.uk and www.eveningtimes.co.uk.